Good morning and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. I am your host, Shenell Felix, and if you're just joining us, I have been chatting with Minority Councillor Petal Benoit. This morning we've been having a number of conversations on a number of topics, but this morning as we round off our discussions, we're talking a bit about the T.H.A. elections that's fast approaching. We're winding down to the end of this first term in office from this administration, and we're expecting to hear about the date for election very soon. How are things in the PNM camp as it pertains to preparation for that T.H.A. elections? Because we saw you had your screening earlier in the year.
Yes.
But yet there still are some seats that haven't been announced.
No seats have been announced based on my information. So the PNM would have gone through its internal processes in terms of nominations, and then we went to screening candidates or persons who screened, and the party will make an announcement in terms of the selection of candidates in due course. So we await the party's words in terms of their formal information to the public on who the candidates are for the respective areas.
Okay, so that first release that came out specifically for Tobago West with some of the names for the different districts, that was not official when they made those announcements, stating that the political leader will retain his position running for the district of Boku and some of the other persons that.
So my information, what the party would have done is to indicate to persons that, well, nominations are open. The party will screen certain districts on a particular day. I think from my recollection, the party would have spoken about maybe who the persons would have screened for the particular areas. But I have not seen any formal information to the public that these are the persons that the party is putting forward for the upcoming Tobago House of Assembly election. So based on my information, in due course, the party will formally put out that information.
So I guess those were just, preliminary.
Yes, I think people speculating about what is happening, but that
because there was
no
a lot
formal,
of information on Facebook about who was running for that Plymouth seat. I think it was one of those athletes, and there was just a lot.
So there were speculations about people who would have put themselves forward and who went to the screening committee, but there was no outcome publicly in terms of what was the outcome of the screening committee. So a number of persons were screened for, I think it may have been over 40 persons throughout, all the electoral districts. So some areas had multiple persons, while others had maybe one or two. So that information was in the public domain.
Yeah, I feel like maybe I'm living in an alternate reality, because I'm sure I saw a release from the PNM that indicated some of the candidates, but then they were still waiting to release the rest. But maybe I just see before things happen, right? And I already know what's happening. But we look forward to a very, very interesting, fun, and hopefully a clean election season. I'm looking forward to seeing so many of the young persons that the PNM would have put forward to go up for those that went forward for the screening. So I'm looking forward to seeing a lot more youths on the platform. We saw a lot of your youth speakers stepping forward from being a part of the youth league to now putting themselves forward as candidates. And there's a stark difference, because you have youths that a part of the youth league growing up, possibly, if they win the screening, against persons who are a part of the executive council, and you will find persons questioning like what might be the strategy behind something like that. How do you feel about those type of comparisons? To say you put somebody who has had that experience sitting in the executive compared to someone who is new?
Well, whoever is selected by the party, due process would have gone into the selection of the particular candidate. What we, as a PNM, will normally put forward to the public is a good marriage of youth and experience and that kind of thing. So it's a package, male versus female. So we put that forward to the public for its consideration, of course, the policies and programs that we are proposing as an option, an alternative to what currently exists. And I want to remind the public that this election is basically adjudicating on the performance of this administration, this Farley-led T.H.A. administration, who has been in office from 2021 to present. The PNM was adjudicated on
April.
Yes, but we had several opportunities where we were at the head of the T.H.A. We managed the Tobago House of Assembly. We went back to the public. We came to the public initially in 2001 and they voted us in. We went back to the public again. We went back to the electorate. They voted us in. So we would have been successfully adjudicated on by the electorate. I think it was on 6 separate occasions. So when people speak to the whole issue of 21 years, it wasn't 21 years that there was no adjudication. At every 4-year interval, we returned to the people and the people said, we give you a passing grade and we will want you to continue the management of the Tobago House of Assembly. At this juncture, this is where we are adjudicating on the performance of the Farley-led TPP, whatever you want to call them, administration over the term 2001 to 2025 or 2026.
What do you say to people who say politics has its wind and sometimes it blows in your favor and sometimes it blows against, and it's just a period where the tide, you could say, is against the PNM, or the wind does not blow in the People's National Movement favor. And it's just a time and a season for everyone, and this just isn't the PNM's time or season?
I would not say this is not the PNM. I agree that there's a time and a season, and I would not agree with you that this is not the PNM season. The PNM at this point is in opposition, and this is our season for opposition. However, we are working towards regaining governance when the next opportunity comes through our selection of candidates, through our policies, and of course, recognizing what has been passing for governance over the past 4 years or so. The people of Tobago were not prioritized. The people of Tobago came last on almost every occasion. The governance and the management of the Tobago House of Assembly and the affairs of the people has not been managed well. And we have a number of instances that we could point to. We could point to the fact that all the promises that were made by the administration for greater transparency, greater accountability to fix things, what has been fixed? We hear about corruption. We hear about the famous audio gate. The list goes on and on and on and on. So we are asking persons, our electorate, to open your eyes, see what is happening and judge them based on their actions.
And finally, I remember in our last conversation, you indicated that you would have been putting yourself forward,
yes,
to be considered by the party. So you
yes.
did put yourself
forward. So I did put myself forward and I was screened. So I was nominated. I submitted my consent. I was nominated by the party groups in the district and I was subsequently screened.
Excellent. So we look forward to possibly seeing you as one of those candidates in the upcoming elections.
So we look forward to
for the People's
the
National
issuance of communication by the party in relation to who the candidates are.
All right, and are you feeling good about it? You feel like you're in a good position?
Well, I feel confident when I was screened. So again, I await the party's formal notice.
Excellent. And we're wishing you all the best.
Thank you very much.
And if we do see you as one of those candidates here, hopefully you come back and join us here on Tobago Updates and we talk a bit about some of your plans for your district. We want to thank you so much for being here this morning. Thank you for putting yourself forward to have the conversation and answering the questions and just bringing your perspectives on a number of the matters that are in the Tobago space. And you know, whether you agree or disagree or, you know, feel confident in the level of communication that was put out as it pertains to the reassignment or the assignment to the Division of Tourism. But all in all, when we look at it, we all have the same goal to see the success of the Tobago Carnival on the
Most
island.
definitely.
So whatever it takes to ensure that that work is being done, even if it means we have 5 secretaries that are there to ensure that it's successful, in the end, we all want to see it done for the greater good of Tobago.
And we don't want to see chaos and confusion because it will defeat the purpose. So whatever is done should be done in a way that provides greater efficiency, accountability, and transparency.
Totally agreed. But guys, this is where we come to the end of this morning's discussions. Thank you so much for your likes, your shares, and your comments, and all that you have been doing and continue to do to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. Again, I am Shenell Felix, and this morning I have been joined to have this lovely conversation with the Minority Councillor Petal, Benoit, and we're asking you this morning to have a great day.
It's a brand new